continues to go.
Welcome to Shaded Life Archives.
That's right. We are back. The reason that we're set up on the table is because we have a bunch of photo shoots for the holidays, and I don't even want to show you what's going on back here. So we're going to keep it here, and I think this looks nice. Although it's not as homey.
Well, a lot of good conversations happen at the dinner table.
Yeah, table talks. But I like the floor. Like,
I
just
know.
like the
Comfy,
hominess
cozy.
of the home stuff.
I got hot chocolate.
Yeah, that's true. Anywho, so this episode I wanted to try to do something a little bit different, because this will be the last of 2020, the last episode of 2020. We'll still continue in 2021, but instead of going back at a photo, I figure we'll kind of just talk about the year as a whole, because this has been a pretty interesting year. I'm pretty sure everyone can attest to that. It's been interesting, unexpected, and yeah.
2020.
2020. It's going to be that year that people are going to be like, oh, remember 20? Do not
talk about
2020. Even though some people already have, we have a lot of good things that came out of it,
No,
but a lot of
but a lot of really bad things too.
Yeah, I don't want to. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's been up in the
sucky.
air. Yeah, a lot of changes. This year, I think, has really brought about things that we thought were going to be and did not happen. Things that we expected to happen and did not happen. And things that we never thought that were going to happen ever, that definitely happened.
Yeah.
So let's kind of go into the beginning of the year, December 2019, moving into the new year of January 2020.
Yep.
What were the expectations? Where were we at, I guess you could say?
Well, we were definitely on this travel kick. We wanted to travel the world in 2020.
Yeah, so we had made probably...
Because we had just got back from New York because we had business there.
That's right, yeah.
And so we were like, oh, I love this. We had done a couple of trips prior to that, and then we were
we got flown up to it too.
Yeah.
So it's one of the, not the first times, one of the the first real times we got paid to travel somewhere for work. Yeah. And it was we need to do this all the time. And 2019, really the first year of really pushing our business was we made the most money we've ever made in our life, and it was all right, now we can really start doing things and making moves, and this is the dream. This is what we wanted to do. And not that we're super travel journalists like that, even though in a perfect dream world we would love to do nothing and just travel and document it. Maybe one day we'll do that. But in our minds, this was we made it.
We made it. We are famous.
This is it.
Yeah.
And I remember going into the new year, I was very confident in the business and its direction. And that's probably never where you should be in the beginning of your business. It should always be at a place of humility, humble, and still figuring it out. And I feel I was oh, I know what I'm doing. And it was
complacent.
Hard. It was hard.
Yeah.
I don't want to say complacent, just things were moving in the direction that I wanted to go. And I was I'll just keep that rhythm going.
Right.
And then COVID-19 just smacked us in the face.
Yeah, because we went to Colombia in January for a wedding. Shout out to Heidi and JC.
Yeah. Good thing they got married in January.
Seriously.
Not to say if anyone got married after that, that's bad. Just, it would have been harder for people to travel to Colombia.
Yeah.
And back.
Absolutely.
In January,
And then February we went to Disney with some friends.
And then March, St. Augustine.
And then St. Augustine with the fam.
Yeah. And I have so much footage from the beginning of the year, even till middle of the year in pandemic.
Yep.
I haven't edited anything because I had all these plans to document and make these vlogs and put it out, and we just had to shift the company hard and fast and very different to
make it work.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think the good thing is that, being laid off your job and having to like just jump into a new territory and dive into this new world of like entrepreneurship, you're kind of like, this is it's another day. But
Right.
we didn't expect for things to change this much. So let's kind of go about like the different changes that we went through, I guess.
Well, for me, it was, because we run this business together, but majority of the time, like, there's shoots that I can't go on because I have to take care of Bodhi. Because that's another thing, like pandemic, it was hard to find sitters.
We didn't have any sitters.
This is very true.
The only sitters we had was when my parents came to visit.
Well, we used to, like, Ilsa was a big help too.
Okay.
But with pandemic, it's hard because, she's got kids and things like that. And you're just trying to be mindful of the scenario.
We were also in in the beginning of a strict quarantine where we weren't able to.
Yes.
Either.
Yeah.
Because
completely.
Florida was like rising in cases pretty high
Yeah.
and fast.
And that's another thing. Like Bodhi, take two. He was doing my gym, and then all of a sudden pandemic happened, and it was like we had to pull him, and we started doing online, but it's not the same because his attention span looking at a screen for a whole 45 minutes doesn't happen. Even as engaging as they try to make it, it's still like he's just looking at a screen versus being around other kids and exploring and learning. And that was tough as a mom to feel like, what am I supposed to do? Like, my child, I have to figure out new ways to get creative.
You can't take them to parks.
Can't take them to parks like
They're
we
all
were.
closed.
It was definitely, it still is a transition. Like,
Yeah, we're still going through it.
We're still going through it, but it's like, I think that was one of the hardest transitions from COVID on top of the business, was just how to find new and creative ways to entertain this child, but also to, continue his development, as a
Yeah, because this
child.
is the stage. I mean, all stages are important, but this is an important stage of his development, where he's learning to interact with other people, his communication skills, his speaking skills, his physical abilities, relationships. Did I say that already? But just like relationally, like how he interacts with the world, and then he's not allowed to.
Right.
And I know other parents are going through very similar things,
Absolutely.
maybe even more and worse. But new parents and going through this with this business now also that like is like here, and then it's like, oh, just I don't know what this is anymore.
Right, and how we make it work.
And also too for Bodhi, I guess he is like a social kid.
Yeah.
And
Very.
the only people he really got to interact with was like his cousins, which was when they would visit or he would visit.
Right.
And that was
And they don't live close by, so it's
yeah. I mean,
it's
we
not
probably
something they
watched
can
like
see.
every movie on Disney Plus, a bunch of Netflix, Amazon Prime. I mean,
Madagascar was his lifesaver.
I know, and that just being indoors, and he's such a active kid. And I think the hard part is because, like you said, like if I'm on a shoot or if I'm working on something, and actually that brings up another thought, but is that kind of all leans on you at that stage.
Right.
And it's not that like, oh, I don't want to. It's just
No,
that
of
this is
course,
the way our business is structured.
Yep.
And it's not like we could find a sitter. So
Right.
it's just like what we had to do.
Absolutely.
So that was like pressure in that area.
And I loved it. Like, I love every moment that I get to spend with him, but also you want that separation too, not only for yourself, but for him to be okay with, I'm okay without mommy and daddy for a few minutes, and like be able to have that, I think is really important for a child, any child,
I remember when, was it in June? Yeah, in June on our anniversary. My parents were in town, and they were able to watch Bodhi for us.
Here you go.
And we went on a date, and we had dinner in the back of the van because we couldn't go to
We
a
had a
restaurant.
nice steak with a plastic fork in the back of the van.
In the back of the van in the parking lot. That was our
Romantic.
That was our anniversary dinner date.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean, it's
You really start to cherish those moments.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things where, and you know, hopefully we'll get to that in this episode where we talk about the good things that came out of it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so backtrack. The beginning of this year, we were living in this house. It was
Yep.
it was a 4-bedroom, and honestly, we didn't deserve to be there. It was through a friend of a family member that just happened to work out where we could stay there.
Yeah.
And we were able to build, you know, the beginning of our family, but also the beginning of our business there. Yeah. And it just kind of worked out. It's not that we could afford it, right? It just like the generosity of this person's heart helped us out.
Yeah.
You know, and we built our business, and this is how we started to grow and to create momentum. And I remember the feeling like we were making a lot of money in 2019. Yep. And we're like, okay, let's keep making money and save so that we can buy this house. We wanted to buy that house because we really liked it.
Yeah.
And then some unfortunate events happened, and that house had to be sold.
Yeah.
And we had to move.
Yep.
And it was like this build to, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Because we weren't even sure if it wasn't this house, what we were going to do.
Yeah.
Was it still going to be Florida? Did we want to move somewhere else? This we couldn't afford it.
Right. No, it definitely, I mean, not in that time frame.
No,
for
because
sure.
we only had a month. We had 1 month to figure out. And this isn't like a pressure or bad side on anyone. This is just the situation
that we were in.
This place had to be sold within like under a month.
And the price range that we were looking for, there's no way you can rent that.
Yeah.
So our option was to buy
with whatever we made in 2019. And I mean, like, we're fortunate that we had it. But the other side of that was that, like, it was a lot of hard work that we just didn't expect to just
dump it
go
into.
And it was the right move for the time, but it was also this like, okay.
And I'm such a planner that I was like,
take it.
What is happening right now? I had to really lean on him and trust him because.
And I was just leaning on whatever.
I was like, well, if you think this is the right home, you know, like in my perfect world, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm like doing all my research. I found this amazing house that I'm going to renovate, and like I can see myself in it, and that takes time. But we had a month.
Because that's what you think about as a first-time homeowner.
Yeah.
Is like, this is going to be my first home. I want to really think about it.
It's going to be such a fun experience.
And we didn't really get to think about it.
No, we were like, is this available? Great. Yeah, we're moving it.
We had a checklist, and then it turned into a checklist, and we're like, we're gonna afford that.
Yeah.
And this is the area, because at the same time, I don't know, I can jump all over the place, but
we're thankful now that we're in the space and we've kind of made it our
for
own.
For sure, I love
like,
this place.
Yeah,
I love it, and also you are a type of person that makes a house feel like a home, and that's just how we work.
Yeah.
But there was this feeling, and this was the situation, all the hard work from 2019 moving into 2020 was taking that money and investing it into life experiences, traveling,
right.
Sorry, experiences with our son, and we were really looking forward to that. Yeah. And all of that went to this home,
mm-hmm.
And we couldn't reinvest into new gear and equipment.
Right.
And this year, on a technical standpoint, so much new gear has come out, and I've just been watching my friends buy it, and I'm like, I can't do it. I just bought this place, so I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do that, and on top of that, our business shifted completely. We had probably about 6 to 7 months of work that was planned, ready to go, mm-hmm. that turned into cancellations. And I know that, like, for a lot of people, especially if you're in like the wedding business or DJ business or anything that has to do with social groups and parties, all your work has gone away. And for us, we didn't lean on that, but there was a good majority of work that we were expecting to do that was like that.
Right.
And it all went away. So it was like taking all the money that we made and then putting it towards this, plus the expected money now disappeared.
Yeah.
And we were like, it just felt like I got laid off my job again. And, we're very lucky that some clients stayed with us, but at the same time, we weren't able to work with people because of the pandemic.
And that's majority of our job.
Yes, because, I mean, when we work with on-camera talent, actors, models, the problem is that you don't know where they've been previously. Because they work with multiple agencies, different directors. So now you're at a stage where, okay, do I work with them or do I put everybody at risk? And now...
You have to get really creative.
When there's like a mandated lockdown, you're not able to. So we had to like literally sit down and talk to our clients and be like, we can't work with people. Are you okay with this? And some stayed with us, and we were lucky enough to continue working, but we had to shift all of our work from people to product only. And
which is a big change, but thankfully we were able to find a way to do it and make it work. And
we made the shift, and we had no other choice. It probably is the best thing we've ever done for our company. Little did we know that it would really work out, because e-commerce never stops. Even though even if there's a worldwide global pandemic, you know, online sales are still moving forward. And it's still happening no matter what. It may take longer to get to places because of mail, but it's still happening. So we just shifted into that. It was a smart thing, and I can't say I strategically thought about that. I just was like,
we gotta make something happen.
This is what's available, and this is what we did. And I actually really love product photography now.
Do you?
I mean, I think it's more because I love the experience of doing it along with you, is because you're a designer, and like the technical side. So I like creating creative imagery, but I'm not the best at like designing. Although I think that's changed.
You've done some pretty good designing lately.
I think that
trying to steal my job.
That's changed because now I enjoy what a frame looks like for, you know, emphasizing and bringing out for a product, even like in lifestyle, but in a lot more of like how do I make a product look good, but just items. So that's really changed. So I do enjoy it, but that was a huge shift because all I've done was directing people. And now how do you tell a story with just items? Which was really difficult. And so we had to change our whole business.
Which was challenging for us, but I think that sometimes you need those challenges in life to kind of like advance you and make you a better creator. So I think for us it was, little did we know that push was the right push for us to grow as individuals, but also grow in our business.
I mean, I've done product before, but I've never done product the way that we've done it now. Meaning every single day, and I had to focus on like campaigns on multiple accounts on how to make this work. I've never actually put it into practice on that consistency. I've done them, but not like on a, like this caliber. So this was, again, it was just completely new, and having to make this work, coming from previous 2019, thinking that all that business that was there was going to move forward, and it just didn't. And you know, 2021, I don't really know what to expect in our work.
Our hands are kind of like
But I think the good thing about it is that we were forced to sit in our own thoughts and feelings. We had no choice to.
We were facing ourselves every day.
So like how, I guess you could say, what did you maybe like struggle with, but really what did you go through when you started like self-reflecting a lot this year?
Oh my gosh. Grab your popcorn, grab your hot cocoa, grab your wine. There's a lot to talk about. How do I sum it up? I definitely feel, because I had to internalize a lot, you know. I definitely realized a lot about myself, and some things I did not like. There was a lot of things that I was just like, gosh, how did I come to this, you know? And moms out there, I'm sure you've experienced this, where you feel like you let yourself go a lot. And this was just a year for me to really reflect on these things and dissect what was going on internally, that previously, you know, you're just going through life and you're just moving, but this was like a complete halt for everyone. And I think everyone's probably experienced this, where you have to face yourself and it's a new reality. So I definitely like the shifts that were happening internally for me, which was a good thing because it was opening my eyes to what I needed to do moving forward. And, that's the time that, the Mic Unplugged formulated. I felt passionate to like reach other moms.
Which is Moms in Conversation.
Yes.
Acronym.
Yes, thanks, babe. Because I think all moms, everyone has a story, but especially moms, it's kind of like sometimes you don't get to hear it because we're giving so much of ourselves to not only our family, our husbands, but also our children. And so there's a lot of you that goes unsaid, and sometimes you can feel like you don't have a voice and things like that. So, within that struggle, birthed something really beautiful, which was Mic Unplugged. So that's something beautiful that came out of 2020, being able to hear other moms. And during this time, it's like, you're so isolated. So it's like, part of me just was like, I was such a people person. And I was like, I thrive in community. And so a lot of me just felt like, not dead, but just kind of like,
Lifeless,
I needed adult conversation. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not an adult.
No, you are.
I'm just kidding.
Sometimes. Just kidding. So yeah, I wanted to start that because I felt like I needed other moms around me. I thank God for Zoom, thank God for social media, to be able to do that. And, still have conversations and hear other moms struggle and hear their stories. And it definitely helped heal a lot of things that I was facing and dealing with internally. So that was one shift. What about you? What was some of the things that you were experiencing?
I mean, I guess I'll keep it within the same theme. 2019 was dedicated to SHADELIFE Company because I had no other choice. I had to provide for our family, but also continue building off of a career that I knew how to make money with. I mean, I was going into the pastor route in 2019, right before I got laid off, and then I had to jump into SHADELIFE Company because I didn't know how to make money as a public speaker,
right?
And as a pastor, I didn't know how to do that,
right?
And when I started there, I was able to work and make money and not ever have to worry about it,
right?
And develop those skills. But now I had to do that. So 2019 was dedicated to SHADELIFE Company. And then 2020 was like, okay, let's continue building off of that. But I wanted to take a lot of that money and I wanted to invest that into our family.
Right.
And then that money going away, basically, I couldn't invest it into our family the way I wanted. I mean, yes, this home is investing into our family.
I know what you mean.
But I'm very much experience over stuff person.
Yeah.
But realistically, living in this world, we need a roof over our head.
Yeah.
And I'm not that much of a nomadic person as much as I wish to be like that. I don't need nothing. Just put me in a van and we'll travel. I'm just not that guy. No. And I grew up in Long Island, New York, and it's a little bougie to say, but I do care about stuff to an extent.
Yeah.
So I just continue working within this company that we have, and once pandemic happened, it was like even more so because one, I was focusing on client retention, making sure we keep our clients, which also meant more work,
right? Because
for them, they were trying to, okay, now we only have X amount of dollars. I got to make sure that this goes to the right things, or else during a pandemic, I can't waste money. So we had to make sure that we were doing right by our clients because they were sticking with us.
Right.
Client retention. Then the other side of it was getting new clients, which was very difficult because nobody had money in their budgets extra to book. So I had to figure that out. And just keeping within the theme of what you're talking about, I think I put so much energy this year into everybody else. And I just realized towards the end of the year how I just didn't put as much energy into myself and also our family as much as I wanted to. Although, like, I wake up every day being able to be with you guys because we own the business together,
Right.
we work together, but I wasn't able to go forward in the movement that I wanted to.
Of course.
And I think what I went through, I put so much energy into other people that I wasn't able to put the energy into the direction and momentum that I wanted to take our family. Granted, I wake up every single day being able to be there for us.
Of course.
And be present with you guys. But I think one thing that I realized, and this is a very big difference, is there's a difference between supporting your family and then being present within your family. And there's a difference between being present and then participating.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, just because I'm there doesn't necessarily mean I'm participating.
Right.
Like, I can wake up and I'm like, hey, good morning, but it doesn't mean I'm like
engaged
at the same time. And
Mm-hmm.
that is the opposite direction that I wanted to go within our family.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to say I didn't have a choice, but when you're in COVID-19 pandemic and there's a lot of uncertainty, you're not swimming, you're floating.
Right.
You're just trying to
You're treading the water.
just keep going. And I think the other hard part for us is a lot of our life is very much servanthood and helping other people.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we were like, look, we gotta just take care of us.
Yeah.
And as that's hard and that's difficult, it's also a reality of, hey, you need to take care of number one. And it's weird to be pushed into that.
Yeah. No,
Like,
absolutely.
Like, to be forced to focus on you.
Yeah.
And I feel like bad about it most of the time. You know, like, hey, this person needs your help, or this person, you haven't talked to this person, and you're just like, I'm working 7 days a week.
Right.
And it's like, people always like laugh at me when I say it, but like, we don't have weekends.
Yeah, we don't.
We just have days.
Right.
So it's, and this is not complaining.
No.
I do enjoy the work we do. I just haven't been able to shift it in the direction that it benefits us from working and then making a living and actually living. It's just been creating and working and building the business, keeping it together in hopes that the doors will open and we can get back to some sort of normalcy.
Yeah.
There's been some breathing areas, you know. I mean, I think we've been able to travel in the pandemic maybe twice, I think.
Yes.
No, at once.
Wait, where did we go?
We went to Jensen Beach
Oh.
for Bodhi's birthday.
Yeah, it was just once.
I think that's it, right? I mean, other than that, it's just been quarantine and staying home.
Yeah. I mean, we've been to like a couple of, like, I brought you to the Bonnet House for your birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
Like local, small little
everything's
things. But
local.
yeah, we haven't really been able to travel anywhere or go anywhere because we've just been like focused.
Yeah, and this is not like a complaint rant or like poor me. This is just like a reality of, you know, owning your own business. There's a lot of perks and great things. The other side of it is that in the introductory stages of owning your own business,
there's a lot of sacrifices.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and there's even more uncertainty when you're in a place of uncertainty during a pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's a handbook on how to deal with
No.
yourself in a pandemic.
Not at all.
So
I wish there was.
You just have to figure that stuff out. One more shift, and then we'll close it out because this is a lot.
Okay. And then I would say, I'll just be real.
Yeah.
So then, like, after that whole thing, the shift of us internalizing, pandemic, moving, all that stuff, literally about a month and a half after that, my mom got sick and was in the hospital for a while, and, you know, that was a scare for the whole family, dealing with that, trying to figure out the next steps.
And that
what was
whole
gonna
hospital
happen.
situation wasn't
Oh
like
my
a good
gosh.
thing because of COVID. Like
We
no one
couldn't go
could
see her.
no one could visit either.
And I hadn't seen my mom prior because they were supposed to come. It happened on my mom's birthday, and that day, no, the next day they were going to come here because they never saw the house. We just moved in, so they were going to help me unpack and things like that. And the night before, I got a call that my mom was being rushed to the hospital. So it was just like from that, and then a month after, so she got home. Thank God she's still with us. And she got home, and we had to do rehab. We're like, I was going back and forth to my parents to here. And then about a month and a half after that, my dad got sick. So now we're still dealing with that, but it was just like this realness that set in for me and my sister. And on top of this uncertainty of COVID, and also like our business is, sometimes we still have to see clients. And that's hard because I'm like trying to be cautious. Something is in my eye. Sorry.
It's okay.
Is there?
I don't see. That help?
Oh my gosh, that hurts so bad.
Did I get it out?
I don't know. Okay. So anyway, what was I saying?
Clients.
So yeah, just seeing clients still with our business. I was just trying to be mindful because my parents are older and they're sick, and trying to go back and forth. So there was a time frame where I was kind of absent from the business, and you had to hold the reins a lot with everything because I just mentally I wasn't there.
Yeah.
My mind was completely somewhere else, and
maybe that's where I got better at designing.
Because you had to take my place for a little bit. Maybe because you were like, what would Borchin do? But yeah, like this, we're still going through it with my parents because my mom, still has a couple more doctor's visits and things like that. And then my dad, this will be forever thing for my dad. So we just have to make it work. And so it's just been extremely
shifts
challenging.
And changes for sure. And I think everyone this year has gone through uncertainty, unexpected things, and these shifts and these changes. And I think that this episode is not to scare anyone or to bring anybody down, but I guess
just being real.
Yeah, being real, being honest, but also like, I know other people are going through stuff, and just know like you're not alone, and I think being able to like get this stuff off our own chest and be able to share it, and especially in the last couple episodes too, and just have people reach out to let us know like, hey, like, I'm going through something similar, or I really enjoyed listening to that because this helped me engage in a conversation that I needed to have.
Right.
Like just knowing like you're not alone is a big part, and I guess not having a sense of community has been a hard thing for all of us.
Yeah.
Because you can't network, and I mean, like I said it before, which is like the problem with the beginning of a business is that it's all about networking, and you can't network. But it's not just business. Now we're also talking about, the development of your child is sociability and being social, and that's taken away from you. And then when it comes to like hardships and like from career to life, and that's taken away from you, your support system is taken away from you. So I think it's just really important to know that like we're all going through something, and
Absolutely.
Some bigger, some small, some really traumatic, and some extremely life-changing, and we've had to shift, and we're very lucky that we've, I guess, zigged when we needed to zig and zag when we needed to zag, but at the same time it wasn't easy, and we're still going through it, and we're not in the clear. 2021, we don't know.
We still don't know.
But I guess
but we are hopeful.
Yeah, and I guess the good thing about it is that like we're no longer at we got this.
Right.
Now we're like, I don't know again. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And we're still.
But we're still here.
We're still here. Still standing.
And you guys are still here.
Standing. As Bodhi would. As Bodhi's favorite song. If you ever see Bodhi, just play that song. He'll go like this.
He goes, oh, and he stays there for a second.
Oh my gosh.
It's really precious.
But yeah, so if that's you and moving into the new year, and you're still going through it, just know we're still going through it, and you're not alone. So as best as you can, and even if it's just reaching back out to us, just as best as you can, try to surround yourself, even if it's Zoom calls and FaceTimes or text messages, surround yourself with people that are supportive and that are there for you, because you never know how far or how deep a text message can go, or hey,
call.
just thinking about you, how far that can go, and how supportive that is for people in these times, and who needs what at what time, and we're all going through it. So yeah,
that was good. Well said.
Well said. Whatever you're going through, handle that.
Well, I got things to do.
I think I was gonna try to end it with that one.
Oh, damn. I got excited.
I love you.
Okay. Can I still do this?
Yeah, you can.